Yes. Not having the availability of the statements in the protection order, the restraint provisions, so the actual identity of the five minors named could have been some other children. Yes. This whole concept of was I a credible threat without the penalty of perjury as being true and correct, there's no way you could say I was a credible threat. That we were intimate partners, well, I never got a dissolution of marriage, and you didn't require my signature or any certified mail or anything, so we're still married. There was no penalty of perjury. I have to acknowledge the dissolution of marriage, and you had to serve me. Now, let's say that you wanted back child support. You wanted child support for 7 years and 4 months, and child support services files some sort of motion with the court to have me arrested for not paying child support. Yes. And I tell them, well, I emailed 2,100,000 emails and I never got a dissolution of marriage. They would say, well, do you know the actual conditions of the dissolution of marriage? I'm like, no. They never served me before they had court hearings, and they never served me after. See, there's no penalty of perjury for the petitioner, right? That anything that was said in the court or on the actual protection order or weapon surrender form, right? Because she didn't acknowledge it as a protected person. Well, I'm not running from the dissolution of marriage, but when you don't give me notice of court hearings, I'm still married. I don't know where my sons are at. You've invalidated what is known as true and correct. Now, it can't be true and correct unless I read it, isn't that right? Or do you just do whatever you... See, there are certain requirements of law that any of the parties named must be given notice, and if they so chose, they can have the opportunity to be heard before issuing court orders. Now, this concept of you deciding that somebody's mentally ill, yes, just because they're sitting with other mentally ill individuals, a sane person couldn't sit with mentally ill persons. Now, Sheriff, let's think back for just a moment. Do you remember last Thanksgiving? Yes. Let's forget the Thanksgiving of 2018. It hasn't happened yet. Let's go back to 2017. Do you know where you were at in 2017? Do you remember what you did on that day? Popo. Under the penalty of perjury, could you tell me as true and correct what you did during Thanksgiving of 2017? See, this whole idea of testifying, yes, being a witness, yes, being sued, yes, quite often attorneys will ask you where you were at and what you were doing on a certain day or time, yes. And this idea of you issuing a protection order where there is no penalty of perjury, let's say I asked the petitioner, yeah, where were you at on July 31st of 2015? I was at home. You mean you weren't in court? Oops. Under the penalty of perjury, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yes. See, quite often when a day has passed, you can't undo what you've done. Last night I made some recordings, called myself the king of the leprechauns, and recording number 8, I let slip my password to my Yahoo accounts, only those 2 accounts. Now, if you went on those accounts and thought you'd teach me a lesson about how stupid I was, right, you probably deleted all the emails and I just don't know it yet. Unless, of course, intelligence was involved, and it would be somewhat crazy to think they are. But then in recording number 9, I said, oh my gosh, you have my password. You probably deleted all my emails. And you did, didn't you? I'm going to find out when the library opens tomorrow that you deleted all the emails from both Yahoo accounts. And that was good of you. Though it was somewhat criminal. I mean, it's like a cyber crime when you delete somebody's emails, you obstruct their emails, or you manipulate them, you change them, or you alter them in any way than what they actually sent. Yes. But then in recording number 10, I got your IP address. Now I go through all the drives and I look for the same IP address and I sue you for cybercrime. And if you happen to be an attorney, a judge or justice, a sheriff or a police officer, an oath of office you had sworn. My God!